Hey guys, so this is Miss Martin, and I am going to be working on how to annotate the top of our article for today. And so you can watch me, see what I do, but also pay attention to what I'm thinking about and how I decide what I should annotate while I read. So I'm going to start off here by reading the title, and it says, How to Design a Poster, 5 Pro Tips. And so as I start looking at this, the very first thing I notice is this title, and it says how to design a poster. And so I'm going to underline where it says how to design, because what I'm thinking here is that this has to do with the topic of the article, which is designing posters. So I'm just making a note of this. The topic is about designing posters. So I've got that on there to kind of help remind me. Now I'm thinking, what is the author gonna say about designing posters? And it looks like there are gonna be 5 tips here. Now I know that a tip is kind of like advice or a really good idea. And so I'm making notes here that the word tips means advice or idea, and there's going to be 5 ideas that are given in the article. Okay, so I'm ready to start reading here. It says it's from July 23, and it says, Want to know how to design a poster? Ha, yeah, I sure do. So I'm gonna interact with this article, and I'm gonna say, yeah, how do you do that? And that's just my way of being an active thinker while I'm reading. So I make that little note. Yeah, I do want to know how to design a poster. And it says 3 of the top poster designers. Now, designer seems to be a key word again. It matches up with the topic. So I'm going to circle designers, and I know that designers, their job is to design things. So I'm making a note that a designer has the job to design. And they are going to offer tips based on their experience. So that would mean that they have designed things before. Let's see. If it says here, if you want to know how to design a poster, you can do no better than turn to the experts. Yeah, so today when I read this article, I'm getting information from experts, and this, for me, an expert is someone that has experience. So I'm connecting these 2 words together because I think they make sense. If someone's an expert, they have experience with something. With that in mind, we've quizzed 3 top illustrators and designers on their poster projects and got them to offer tips on how you can design better posters. Now, this is making me think a little bit here. Designing better posters, we are doing this. And so I'm making a note that, yeah, in my class, we are doing this, trying to design better posters. Okay, now remember, as I'm reading, I'm trying to annotate anything that has to do with the topic about designing posters. Here's my last section. It says, your poster design needs to convey information at the same time appealing to the aesthetic taste of your audience. Okay, I think this looks like a pretty key idea. It's kind of like the definition of why we design and what it's for. So I'm going to underline that. Poster design needs to convey information. That's like the first thing it needs to do. But at the same time, it needs to appeal to the aesthetic taste of your audience. That's like the second thing that it needs to do. Now, I'm going to put a question mark over here beside aesthetic. I don't quite know what that word means. It has an A, and I've heard it before. I think it has something to do with art. So I'm just going to put a question mark and write art down there. So my poster design needs to convey information at the same time appealing to the aesthetic taste of the audience. But where do you start and what do you have to bear in mind? Read on to find out I can't see what I wrote anymore with the 2 on there. Maybe it's reading the things that you need to do. So I know now I'm prepared to go on and continue reading and make annotations about how to design posters. What is the author saying are good ideas on designing posters? So that's how I annotated the top part, and now you guys are going to work on reading the rest of this article and annotating key ideas about our topic. And then at the end of the article, I'm going to ask you to write down at least 3 ideas that the author talks about in this article that are related to our topic. All right, let's go.